Hi, welcome to All 360 on Mybet.Africa on all social media platforms, particularly Facebook. We are live because Ghana is playing Brazil, the five-time world champions, and we'll be delving straight into the game because we are just left about 20 minutes or so to kickstart that game. It's happening at the Le Havre in France, where the Black Stars of Ghana will be taking on the Seleção of Brazil, as I already said, five-time world champions, and they'll be going neck to neck. In their last four meetings, it's not been a good run for the Black Stars. They've conceded 13 goals and they've scored just 2 of them. And so, is it a time for the Black Stars to actually make their shine bright and star again, or is it going to be the Seleção of Brazil that are going to outpour us yet again? I'm here with Don Perry, as well as Francis Agbebo, who will be helping me delve into matters on this show. It's All 360, and here is the time that we're going to give you the juicy odds that you can take up until over the weekend, and you can enjoy some cash from Mybet.Africa. Well, Francis, welcome, Perry as well. But a big game on our hands tonight. Brazil takes on the Black Stars of Ghana. Coach Otodo has called upon 11 players, and it looks like it's only one change. Babaraman coming in for the left back there. That is Gideon Mensah. That's the only change we have in the squad. But the Brazilians are coming with full force. They have Neymar, Vinicius Jr., Rafinha from Barcelona, Richarlison up front, and then we have Paqueta and Casemiro in midfield. Then in defense, they also go Alisson Becker and Gopus, Thiago Silva, Eder Militao also in there, Alex Telles at the left back. But what do you emphasize in this game?
It doesn't get bigger than this. It's a huge game in the making, and you could tell the euphoria around the Black Stars. All of a sudden, the buzz is getting positive. The vibe you get around the streets today, you could tell. Coming to the studio here, the kind of traffic on the road. Everyone is rushing to get home to watch this game. But if you look at the statistics going into this game for the Black Stars, clearly they are underdogs. 5 times world champion Brazilians. We say we are the Brazilians of Africa, so the origin of our football is from the Brazilian national team. We love to possess and play here and there. But if you look at the Black Stars assembled currently, the current column, this is by far in the last 3-4 years, the best assembled side in terms of quality dotted around every single position going into this evening's game in Le Havre. And if you look at the starting 11 of the Black Stars, the coach wants to go with the tried and tested players. Those that fizzled out Nigeria out of the qualifiers. You could tell it's only Baba Ramanda zoomed in. Gideon Mensah has been brilliant so far for the Black Stars whenever he plays for the team. But if you look at what the Black Stars are being pitched against this evening, it's scary because the Brazilians themselves, with Neymar as the captain, leading them into this particular blockbuster fixture against Ghana, the Black Stars need to bring something extraordinary on board to be able to get something positive out of this game. Because if you look at the firepower of the Black Stars, it's not the best as compared to that of the Brazilians. Richarlison this season for Tottenham Hotspur at one point in time, he took out Kulusevski and then Son Heung-min from the Tottenham Hotspur team. You could tell he's banging in goals, creating assists. You look at Neymar in the French League 1, together with Lionel Messi and Kylian Mbappe. He has popped up with no less than 8 assists this season, and he has banged in no less than 5 to 6 goals in the French Championnat.
10 goals already.
So he's on top of his game. Today is Jojo Wallacott once again. Another guy born outside the shores of Ghana who has been brilliant for the Black Stars so far. So if you look at the permutations of the game, the odds are against the Black Stars. But the Black Stars that we have currently can make life extremely difficult for any team, because if you look at Ottawa, what he has done via 2 legs against Nigeria, his teams have defensive fluidity. They can stable. They are very stable. Because to play Nigeria both home and away and concede only 1 goal, that tells you that this coach knows how to marshal his defensive setup very well. And Thomas Partey is playing once again. So the tried and tested players are in there. But Kudus Mohamed, the chap that plays for Ajax Amsterdam, is on top of his game. Currently, he's the top scorer of the Blacks. Like in terms of club level, in the new season, he's the top scorer for the team currently, together with Usman Bukari, who is not starting this game. Because Usman has been brilliant for Real Star Belgrade. So He is the man that is tried and tested.
Absolutely. But Perry, let me draw you to this conversation. I think Francis have actually digested the Black Star team into detail. But this is a Brazilian side after losing the Copa America final against Argentina. They've gone 13 games unbeaten. They've won 10 and drawn 3 of them. In their last 5 outings, they've scored a whopping 4+ goals in that 5 outings. Could it sense a scary moment for this Black Star team?
Very, very scary. Look at the lineup of Brazil, the Brazil against the Black Stars of Ghana this evening. You could see that player for player, they are far ahead of what the Black Stars will be parading. It's a marquee feature, and when I saw the lineup, I was a bit scared. But I know in football, anything can happen.
Absolutely.
I was just glancing through the fixtures across the globe, and I realized that just this afternoon, our opponent in the same group, South Korea, played against Costa Rica. That game ended 2-2. Uruguay just lost to Iran by a goal to 0. Portugal are playing tomorrow against Switzerland in the UEFA Nations League. So every member of that group is taking part in a fixture or the other to prepare themselves for the World Cup that comes up next 2 months. It's a marquee fixture, and Otuado is going up with the lineup he's comfortable with. Like Francis said, they are the players that edge out Nigeria in the qualifiers, but for Baba Rahman, who is coming for Gideon Mensah. So it's a marquee fixture. Brazil by far are better on paper compared to Ghana. But I'm not particular about the result. I'm looking at how the players who are starting are going to impose themselves in the game, and then the new players who have been called up, Salisu, Iñaki Williams, and co are going to be introduced, and their contribution. Some may say that we are going to be wall up, but I'm not particularly looking at the results. I'm looking at how they are going to perform and the integration. And then in the next game against Nicaragua, then we shall look at the real team that will be going to Qatar in the next 2 months. But by far, Brazil are better on paper than Ghana. And if you lose, I'll not be surprised.
Just football, anything can happen. With just about 8 minutes to get into the kick-off of the game between the Black Stars of Ghana and the Seleção of Brazil. But Francis, finally on the Black Stars, and now Otuado has kept faith in the players. He actually tested them in the Nigerian game that actually propelled them into the global showpiece in November. Taking a look at the new players or the new guys that have joined in the team, could it be that the players starting now is actually giving them some optimism that they have chosen, Otuado have actually chosen the expense of these players, and so they have to give their utmost against this Brazilian side?
Well, Derek, if you look at the Black Stars now, I don't think there's any single player in that team that will be comfortable in terms of starting position. Look at the right back, Donis Odoi, when he switched from Belgium to play for Ghana. Brilliant in the 2 matches that he played against Nigeria. In Kumasi, he put brakes on Kelechi Iheanacho. In the second leg, they found out something about his game. So he brought on Andy Yardom in the second half. But look at the new call-up, Tariq Lamptey of Brighton. Brilliant, explosive, young, talented footballer. That on any given day, in my eyes, should be making it into any world-class team in the world. You look at Ibrahim Salisu, who plays for Southampton. We've courted him for some time. Finally, he's here. Brilliant left centre-back that can play very well in a 3-back system, can play as a left wing-back. He adds quality. Up front, we've been crying that we don't have an out-and-out focal point. Iñaki Williams of Athletic Bilbao. The most consistent player ever in the history of the Spanish La Liga. 230+ games, consistently. Not miss those. That tells you that quality is on board. So, if you look at the chunk of the team, yes, you are starting, at the back of your mind, Thierry Henry once said that you need quality players to back you up on the bench to push the best out of you. Because when you are playing, you know that when I'm not giving out my best, I'll be pulled out and there will be a substitution. And when that person outperforms you, then you are going back to the bench. And in this match, it is a ticket to the World Cup. It is a make or break for anyone that is involved in this game. You go, you play, and you messed up, that is the end of you, because we've seen that with the Black Stars. You've got to take that opportunity by the scruff of the neck and make it, utilize it and make it, stake a claim and make it 100% sealed for you. The players knows that they will be judged by that. Gideon Mensah, for once, I know he has taken his claim. Baba Rahman needs to rediscover his old form, because People are not happy that Gideon Mensah has been dropped because in the last 4 matches that the Black Stars have played, Gideon Mensah has been by far one of the best players in the team.
Absolutely.
So when you have the opportunity, you have to stake your claim, and the players knows exactly that. Starting today does not guarantee you a starting position in the Black Stars at the World Cup because we have quality in depth on the bench.
We've got quality in that from the bench. That's what Francis Agbe was saying. But then the last team or the last African side that's beaten the selection of Brazil is Cameroon in 2003. Do you think that the Black Stars can actually be the second team to do so?
If Monza can beat Juventus, anything at all can happen in football. If Monza can beat Juventus, anything can happen. You know, in football, anything can happen. I believe Uruguay versus Iran. Many connoisseurs of the game would have said that Iran would have beaten Uruguay would have beaten Iran, but at the end of 90 minutes, Iran managed to beat Uruguay. It may be a friendly match, but the impact is huge. Ghana can cause an upset if we don't respect Brazil too much and allow them to impose themselves on us. We can do something. I'm going to see how psychologically they are going to sign the boys up to play against these marquee players, because if you look at the first 11 of Brazil, top-notch players. But I'm particularly happy about our squad because if you go to defense, the defenders that we call are all in form. Seydou in form, plays in France. If you go to Celta Vigo, Joseph Ado, fantastic player. Come to Southampton, Salisu, fantastic. Go to Strasbourg, Jiku, fantastic. Amate, maybe Amate is not getting some play time with Leicester, but he's still a top player. So these are key players who are playing Europe week in, week out. If you look at our midfield, Kudus, who has been transformed into a false 9, playing for Ajax in his last 5 matches, banging goals left, right, center. That goal against Liverpool, what class strike for Kudus. So the team is well grilled, and I believe that if you don't respect Brazil so much, if we are going to contain them first 20 minutes, 30 minutes, who knows? Before the game ends, at least one goal will be there.
Francis, if you take a look at the backline, as he rightly said, Dennis Odo, who plays for Club Brugge, they are in the Champions League. Obviously, he knows the quality that the likes of Neymar and Richarlison will bring him to bear. Don't forget Alexander Djikou. They're playing the same, league in the French League Championnat. He's seen Neymar's exploits last season and even this season as well. And you talk of Daniel Amate. Obviously, he knows Richarlison very well in the English Premier League. If you take a look at how the players knows who they are going to face, do you think that they'll go into this game with another second thought that whenever we make a mistake, this Brazilians can punish us?
If you look at the Brazilians, what they possess ammunitions that can hurt you. Neymar is playing one of his best seasons so far in Europe. To me, ever since he moved from Barcelona to France, Paris Saint-Germain, what he's doing currently in the French League speaks volumes. And that is by far to say that Kylian Mbappe's attitude towards Neymar has pushed the Brazilian to say to himself, I am better off than what I'm giving. The young guy shouldn't be saying things like this or giving me this kind of attitude in this team. I am the one that is supposed to be the star of the team. And we all can see what Neymar is bringing after the brouhaha with Mbappe and the top hierarchy of Paris Saint-Germain. He's creating the most assists in the French league and banging in goals for fun. That is what Neymar is made of. The captain of the Brazilian national team. The ones that wears the jersey once worn by the great Pele. Once worn by Rivaldo. These are world-class names that have won the World Cup before. They say in Brazil, if you've done everything and you've not won the World Cup before, no one respects you. Neymar wants to do that. So I think with what the Black Stars are confronted with, they know what is at stake. They have to be disciplined. And when they are disciplined, they will limit the damage.
I mean, if many are watching us live on Facebook, on Mybet.Africa handle. But before we bounce out and then come to the second part of the show, what do you think the score is going to be? Or if people want to stick something? I
expect Brazilians to play better, but in this game, I can see loads of goals in this game. So over the course of the 90 minutes, I will go for not less than 3 goals. That is over 2.5.
Not less than 3 goals, so over 2.5. And very
same. It will be difficult for the Black Stars to score Brazil, even though anything can happen in football. But if you are an investor like we are all over here. Like Francis said, if you want to be on the safer side, we will advise that you go for goals, and over 1.5 and 2.5 will not be a bad option at all.
Over 1.5 and 2.5 will not be a bad option at all. So before we leave you to go watch the Brazil and the Black Stars of Ghana, let me just run you through what Mybet.Africa is actually bringing to your doorstep in the Qatar, ahead of the Qatar 2022. It says play Ghana, cheer Ghana. It said a Qatar World Cup at your fingertips. Yes, Mybet.Africa is taking you to watch the Black Stars play a live World Cup in Qatar. How well do you know your World Cup and football history? And it says that join Mybet.Africa, a Qatar 2022 World Cup daily trivia competition to build up points to qualify for the final draw. Points to qualify for the final draw. The good news is that you don't need to be a customer of Mybet.Africa or stake a bet to be part of the promotion. Just dial *38014# to answer the trivia questions and build points to qualify for the final draw. Okay, so take advantage to the Qatar 2022 Play Ghana, Cheer Ghana promo and test your knowledge in football history and play your way into Qatar Cheer Black Stars. Dial the short code *380*14# *380*14# to subscribe and play. So that's it for the first part of the show. We'll take a quick time. When we come back, we will dive straight into the European Super. Do enjoy the game between the Seleção of Brazil against the Black Stars of Ghana. We'll be back.